A BRT needs at least 3 kilometers of dedicated lanes. At the very least, there should be painted lines differentiating bus lanes from everything else lanes, and they need to be in the right layout. The ITDP gives multiple examples of right and wrong layouts, but generally, BRTs that have their own separate road or those running in the median are preferable. Many quote-unquote BRTs in Indonesia outside of Transjakarta are guilty of committing this sin. Don't get me wrong, city buses are great, they're an important public service that have been neglected for too long, but a city bus that doesn't have dedicated lanes, doesn't have off-board payment, no priority at intersections, and just plain out regular shelters and bus stops isn't a BRT, it's just a city bus. Though to be fair, the public and the media also mislabel city buses as BRTs, resulting in the profanation of the BRT label. The average end-to-end non-express speed inside the BRT corridor must be at least 20 kilometers per hour, which might sound slow until you realize that driving in Jakarta, you will be lucky to break 15. BRT stands for Bus Rapid Transit. Slow BRTs are not BRTs and are therefore lying. Low average speeds is often an indicator that something else is seriously wrong with your system. It is a sin to have a BRT corridor to have less than 8 buses an hour, aka 1 bus every 7.5 minutes at peak, and 4 buses an hour, aka 1 bus every 15 minutes. Nobody likes waiting 30 minutes for the next bus. One BRT corridor often has many services or lines. Each line must have regular frequencies. If you have a line with 3-minute headways or shorter, suddenly have nothing arrive in 6 minutes or more, that's a sin, and the severity increases the longer you wait. Same goes for medium frequency lines with 3 to 6 minute headways and nothing arriving in 10 plus minutes. And low frequency lines with 6-minute headways or longer and nothing arriving in 14 or more minutes. Generally speaking, most Transjakarta main BRT lines, with the exception of 1 and 12, run around once every 5 minutes, or 12 buses an hour, which would categorize them as medium frequency lines. I have experienced nothing arrive in 10 minutes many times, so this is a serious issue. Partially caused by, imagine 2 buses 5 minutes apart. The leading bus has a traffic light that's 3 minutes long. The buses are now 2 minutes apart. The people waiting for the first bus had their 5-minute wait turn into 8. Frequencies ruined, passengers unhappy, capacity wasted because the front bus is full and the back bus is empty. The BRT standard has a chart showing how long a bus can wait before it is considered sinful, but based on said chart, you start losing points if the buses are at the light for more than 50 seconds. Generally speaking, anything more than 4 people per square meter is sin. At 4 people per square meter, there is some physical contact, nothing too serious, you can still doom scroll on Instagram. At 6 per square meter, you start having difficulty moving around, and anything 7 or more, personal space has been completely and utterly violated, you have no room to doom scroll, and you're forced to contemplate on your life choices. If your next stop is coming and you're not within 1.5 meters of the door, good luck. I have experienced 8 per square meter, not in Transjakarta but in the KRL commuter line. Breathing becomes slightly hard as you're pressed by everyone around you. It is a sin to have a gap, both horizontal and vertical, of over 15 centimeters between the bus and the platform. Remember, the transit is especially important for people who can't drive, which includes the young, old, and disabled. The same demographic who also have trouble if there's a 40-centimeter canyon between the station and the doors. Dirty, graffiti-stained stations, bus lanes with holes, bus doors not closing, you name it, that's sin. Also for the transit rider, throwing a bag of chips on the bus floor counts as desecration. Let's say in the span of 15 minutes, you saw 20 city buses pass by a road with a BRT lane in it, and only 11 of them use the BRT lane. That's sin. 60% of city buses in a road must use the BRT lane. Anything less is considered sinful. Buses not using bus lanes make for difficult transfers and people getting stuck in traffic. It is a sin to let vehicles other than buses and emergency vehicles in bus lanes. The more vehicles that unworthily use the bus lanes, the more points the system loses. The maximum number of points lost in this category can be achieved by just 19 unworthy vehicles in a span of 15 minutes. The BRT standard says that BRT corridors with ridership levels below 2,000 passengers per hour per direction during the peak hour carry fewer passengers than a normal mixed traffic lane. If this happens, you have messed up big time in your planning. The number 2000 was chosen with small cities in mind. If people are getting run over by buses, people need to know about such incidents. If there have been cases and people are not aware of said cases, or worse, information of such cases is not publicly available, that's sin. Also, steps must be made to make sure people aren't getting run over by buses to begin with, such as not committing the sin of allowing unsafe bicycle use in bus lanes. The fact that this is in the BRT standard, who in their right mind would allow and do such a thing? I've cycled in many roads in my life, but I wouldn't cycle in a tight area that has 12-ton death machines flying in at 50 km/h every 3 minutes. Your BRT should not provide inspiration for the next Final Destination movie.